Hi. Sorry. Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. So my name is Toby. I'm from Beats, which is the UK's eating disorder charity. I'd like to take a moment to say a big thank you to Lauren for organising tonight and such It looks like such a great evening, and the room looks amazing. Some of you might not know about BEAT or about what an eating disorder actually is. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a talk to introduce BEAT, our work, and what an eating disorder actually is. So an eating disorder is a mental illness affecting 1.2 million people in the UK. It's a complex psychological condition with a multifaceted illness. And BEAT is the UK's eating disorder charity. We support people suffering with eating disorders. We have a helpline that's open 365 days a year, alongside online support groups of people who suffer from an eating disorder as well. We're a champion, a friend and a guide for everyone affected, so that could be someone suffering or a friend or family member. We're also championing eating disorders and positive change nationally. So we campaign to try and improve NHS treatment, to try and improve waiting times, and to really maximise the positive outcomes of people who suffer on a daily basis. And alongside that sort of campaigning work we do, we have a team of inspirational people who have suffered with an eating disorder. And one of those people is with us tonight, so I'd like to introduce Suki, who's our young ambassador tonight.
Okay. Oh, just time. Hello. Thanks for listening in advance. My name's Suki and I'm ambassador for BEAT, and I'm here to share my story. I hope sharing my experiences and my journey to recovery will be useful, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. It's important, first of all, to highlight that this was my own personal experience and that every eating disorder is different for different people. So what helped me recover might not be helpful for others. Eating disorders are complex, so not everyone will experience the same symptoms, and each person will respond differently to treatment and take different amounts of time to recover. So I was diagnosed with anorexia when I was 10. I'm now 23, so it's been a long time, but I can still remember my experiences very clearly and the accompanying feelings. It began with excessive exercising and cutting out certain foods and restricting my diet further and further. At such a young age, it was difficult to comprehend what was happening, especially as when you have an eating disorder, you find it difficult to see that anything is wrong with you. You've completely been taken over by the illness that is the eating disorder. I was not diagnosed very quickly, so continued to lose more and more weight. My parents became desperate and they had absolutely no idea what was happening. They were constantly just telling me to eat, like, what's wrong with you? They were told this was only a phase, and it was only when I hit a dangerously low BMI that my GP suggested admitting me to an inpatient facility. Other people I've talked to who have had anorexia have said this happened to them too. How much weight you lose doesn't determine how ill you are. You shouldn't be told that you're not ill enough or that you don't qualify for treatment based on your weight alone. There are so many other symptoms, and sometimes losing weight isn't part of your eating disorder. So the only hospital available for myself to be admitted to was a place over 100 miles away from my home. Due to my severe homesickness, I ate as much as I possibly could to get out of there. I started binging, and eventually I was discharged as I had gone over my target weight. Whilst I was there, my family didn't receive any support, which meant coming out of hospital was really difficult for me and for them. I still couldn't look after myself, and my family still didn't really understand how to deal with it. I was having regular therapy, but I didn't really respond well to therapy. What worked in the end was my second round of treatment and the continued support of my family. Shortly after I was discharged, I relapsed and was admitted to another hospital. This was better as it was only a half an hour drive from my home and was an outpatient facility, so I could be there during the day for meals and then go home and sleep in my own bed. Here there was a gradual increase of meal amounts week by week rather than based on how much weight you were gaining, which was the practice at the first facility. I found this more helpful as it began to help me see how much I should be eating to be healthy. I bonded with one of the nurses who helped me see what life I was missing out on and to realise what I enjoyed doing. Here there was also regular family therapy, which helped my parents and my brother and my sister understand what was happening to me. And that support continued far into my recovery journey after I was discharged. My parents continued meal support for a year after my discharge to help my brain heal. All mirrors were taken away. Mum weighed me once a week but never let me look, and I haven't stepped on a pair of scales since. Eventually I was given control back over what I ate, and even though it took a couple of years, I eventually became who I am today, eating a healthy amount every day with a positive outlook on food. I was able to start going out for meals with friends, playing sport, things I'd missed out on for years because of this terrible mental illness. Mum continued for years after to go to support groups, including conferences run by Beat. Looking back, I feel really guilty for what I put my parents and family through, but I know now that it was not my fault. These illnesses are never self-inflicted and they're never a choice. Over 12 years on now, I'm living in London, working full-time for a comedy television production company, and I'm aiming to become a television producer, fingers crossed. I love reading and going to the theatre and comedy. Looking back on my experiences is quite painful, but it is so much better on the other side. Living with an eating disorder is like living a half-life. I can now live life to its full potential and do so many different things. My main message is that even though eating disorders are very serious and should be taken just as seriously as other more physical illnesses, they are treatable and recovery is always possible. Recovery isn't always straightforward, and there's many ups and downs, but I became an ambassador to educate people on what it's like to live with an eating disorder and to spread hope and the message that recovery is definitely possible with every single case and the right treatment and support. Thank you very much for listening.
Hi everyone, I'm not great at speeches, but I just want the night to run all smoothly, chit chat, music playing. I have got singers and dancers performing, but they're at times, have a specific time for them. So there will be music playing, dancing, or whatever you want, but when someone does come up here, it means they are performing, so if you could quiet down, that would be amazing. But thank you for all coming, it means everything to me.